The IWC is out here acting like TNA doesn't exist right now. Meanwhile, last Thursday night on AMC, a 19-minute main event went down that had the live crowd chanting, "This is awesome," and TNA, back to back in the same match. And everyone was sleeping, but it's okay because here I am. We're going to go through the top 3 moments from this week's TNA Impact. And by the end of this, you're either adding TNA to your list of watch, or you're just gonna lie to yourself at this point. So welcome to the T-Drop Strong Brew, no soft behavior. So let's get to this. TNA Impact this week was at Syracuse, New York, live on AMC. Tom Hannafin and Matthew Redwood on the call. And this particular episode has some layers to it. Not everything hit, but when it hit, we had top 3 moments that we can probably discuss about it. We're going to go through number 1, and I'm telling you right now, by the time we get to the main event, you're going to understand why I'm putting this match in my probably match of the year conversation before we're even halfway through the year. So let's get to this. Moment number 3. Coming at number 3, and look, this one is a pure character work, typical pure TNA, and it's exactly why it earned a spot. So here's the setup. Frankie Kazarian won at Rebellion, beat Elijah. And you think that ends the story, right? Well, you're wrong, because this is TNA, and in TNA, the story doesn't end until it gets weird enough to be unforgettable. So this week, they announce an Elijah concert is coming up. Lights go down, music hits, and out walks Elijah, except wait. Tom Hannafin and Matthew Redwood immediately clock it. That is clearly Frankie Kazarian in a fake beard, doing his best Elijah impression. The man walked out doing the full Elijah entrance, full Royal Vibe. Hannafin out here barely holding it together on commentary. They were all laughing. Kazarian, still in character as Elijah, gets on the mic, insults the town, calls it a frozen dump. And by the way, a fan in the crowd immediately flipped him off on camera. And then he announces he got a case of the blues. And then he breaks into a song called Kaz Is My Daddy, a blues ballad about how Frankie Kazarian beat him all over the country. I need you to understand what character work this is. Kazarian is so deep into this feud that he is doing, I guess at this point, what you would call method acting, getting into the ring in costume, performing music to mock his opponent on national television. In what world does that not get you fired up for the next chapter of this feud? And thanks to that, the lights go out and they come back on, and the real Elijah is behind him in the ring, and he immediately choked Kazarian out with a guitar strap. Crowd pops loud. Real Elijah grabs the guitar, tell Kazarian, and I'm going to give you the direct quote here, "God will forgive you, I won't." And then announces they will have a Walk with Elijah guitar strap match next week. But here's where it gets really interesting, because Elijah then breaks into his own song and gets the crowd chanting. Frankie blows. They do that together and closes by inviting everyone to Dinosaur Barbecue. I guess that's somewhere in Syracuse. It's moments like this is why TNA exists. Character work that makes you feel something before the bell rings. The guitar strap stipulation is set for the April 30th TNA Impact. Elijah needs to win to stay relevant at this point. And after Kazarian paid a kid to trap him in a cemetery a few weeks back, the score hasn't been settled. Not even close. 2 things are important in this. The segment was a little goofy, and it was one of the most entertaining 5 minutes on wrestling TV this week. We got a bit of both, which is great. Now let's move on to moment number 2. And this one has layers that I need you to actually think about. So context first, at Rebellion, the Hardys lost the TNA World Tag Team Championships to the brothers Nemeth. Separate feud entirely, but the beef with the Righteous, that didn't die at Rebellion. It is still going. This week, Dutch and Matt Hardy had a singles match. Jeff Hardy and Vincent were both banned from ringside. And before the bell even rings, Matt Hardy walks down the ramp, reaches under the ring, pulls out a table, sets it up on ringside, and spray paints one word on it: sacrifice. He turned to the camera and said, "I came here for a sacrifice. Now, if you guys are paying attention, that is not Matt Hardy talking. That is Matt Hardy starting to become something else again. And if you've been watching Hardy for any stretch of time, you know exactly what door that word opens. The match itself, though, Dutch dominated for stretches of this match. This man is a physical specimen, but Matt brought the emotion and the crowd was invested. Vincent crawled from under the ring to slide a chair and distracted the ref, and Dutch hit the black hole slam for the pin. Matt unfortunately took the loss, and then Dutch just kept beating on him post-match until Jeff showed up and ran in and dropped Dutch with the Swanton bomb. Now, I've seen some commentary saying the feud has gone on too long out there, and I get that. I do. But let me ask you something. What if the whole point was never about the tag titles? What if Vincent and Dutch have been trying this whole time to break Matt Hardy psychologically, to crack him open and pull the broken Matt out and whenever and out from wherever he was hiding this whole time? Think about it. Sacrifice on that table, Matt spray painting things again, the way he's been teasing the old cadence in his promos. The Hardy compound call up feels close. And if we get the broken Matt Hardy in TNA in 2026 with the Righteous as the catalyst, that's going to be some creative investment. Hopefully not a nostalgia loop, though. We will see. The real question is whether TNA is going to pay this off. We will see how this goes. Maybe we'll get another compound match, but the chapter keeps going for these three. How you know Alistair's back in TNA? We don't know that yet. Did he announce it? Did they announce something online? Number 1. And I'm not going to hedge on this. Mike Santana versus Rick Swann for the TNA World Championship. 19 minutes. Main event of this week's TNA iMPACT. And everyone, you just sent me the link. Let me see. Oh boy. Did he really? Boy. Oh yeah. Look at that. Signs Tommy's End. Bro. No, they didn't. Oh man. Tommy's End. Oh, that's not it. Can't. Here, I'll copy the image. Maybe I can drop it here. Nope. Can I? I can drag an image. Nope. Let me go back to my stories. TNA. There we go. Maybe I can drag the image in here. Nope. Nope. Don't do that. Maybe I'll have to just video grab something else. Hold on. Is this it? Yep. There you go. Yo, this is wild. Fit this to the screen. They're not even letting me cut this right. Hold on. That's crazy. Or serious. That's already set. Maybe that was the whole point all this time. They took him out so they can get him over here. Can we fit this on the screen, guys? Fit it. There we go. When did they announce this? They just announced it, huh? He signs Tommy and that's, you know what? It works because TNA is good at doing weird stories and this is going to work out for him. I'm really hoping it does. Well, Aleister Black is his own. Yeah. Couldn't they come with a better name than Tommy's End? It's just a bad name. Anyway, we'll continue with this. Let's build up this main event match for you. First, the context around this match is important because Mike Santana handpicked Rick Swann for this title shot. And before the match, Swann told BDE, his whole crew, to stay in the back. No interference, no excuses. When he pinned Santana, he wants it to be clean. That's his character heading into the match before the bell rings. They shake hands and they go. 19 minutes of two guys who understand ring psychology, understand pacing, and understand how to tell a story without holding your hand through it. Great match. And it gets interesting in specific spots. They open with a pure wrestling sequence, both going for drop kicks at the same exact moment, both keeping up to each other at the same time. The crowd was already locked in throughout this match. These are two athletes who know each other on a detailed level over the years in the independent scene and obviously in TNA. They go to the floor. Swann puts Santana in a ringside chair and runs around the ring and charge him with a boot. Amazing. He does that twice, by the way. He goes for a third and Santana eventually pops up and super kicks him right in the teeth. That moment right there is where the crowd shifts. That's where they understood they were watching a really good contest. Now they went back in the ring. Santana suplexes Swann off the top rope, fires up, hits the rolling buck 50, cannonball, running powerbomb, 2 count, and the crowd in Syracuse is on their feet chanting, "This is awesome," on a Tuesday on TNA. Barely heard that before, but okay. Then Swann comes back eventually. He does a cutter. He does a super rana off the top into a frog splash, another 2 count. Crowd is now chanting TNA, TNA. And then Swann hits a Canadian destroyer for a near fall that had everyone going crazy over it. And then out of nowhere, Santana catches a super kick, bounces off the ropes, and hits the spine, the block clothesline, 1, 2, 3, and the 90 minutes are done. And it's over. And then the post match, they shake hands, they hug, they show mutual respect, which is nice. Daria Ray presents Santana with the title, and then that's the final scene you see for TNA. It was a great match. A 19-minute match. And the finishing sequence, the heat between them, the crowd was in it. Something I haven't seen in a while on television wrestling shows, not PLEs or pay-per-views. It's something that everyone's going to talk about for a while. If IWC can remember anything with matches that came this week, it should be this one. I think Rick Swann, and I'm going to say it, the man has clearly put in some serious work to get here. Swann is in a decent shape. This was the kind of match that reminds you why pro wrestling matters. Mike Santana continues to be a A-list champion for this promotion. And hopefully that's the conversation going down the line when it comes to him. And we will see. We will see if this is a future match of the year contendership for whether it's Sports Illustrated, ESPN, who knows. Whoever writes an article, sure. They should definitely take this match into hand, because after this, if you're not watching TNA, this match right here should be your reminder to watch it.